The lights hit your mirror and your chest drops. One bad sentence can turn this stop against you. Have you ever talked too much during a stop, yes or no? Most drivers think the stop starts when the officer speaks. It does not. It starts with your first words. That first sentence can calm things down, or it can make the stop longer, messier, and riskier for you. Here's what most people do wrong. They start explaining before they even know what the officer wants. They blurt out excuses. They joke. They apologize for things nobody even asked about yet. They say they were only keeping up with traffic. They say they did not see the sign. They say they only had one drink. That sounds harmless, but those words can give the officer more to ask about. This is exactly where things fall apart. A simple stop can turn into a long conversation you never needed. Most drivers have no idea this is even a thing. They think talking more makes them look honest and friendly. Sometimes it does the opposite. It makes you sound nervous, unsure, or like you're trying to fix the story. And when you panic, your brain hates silence. It wants to fill every second with words. That is normal. But during a stop, those extra words can hurt you. You are sitting in a closed space. The officer is watching your hands, your face, your voice, and your answers. If your words jump around, that can create more suspicion, even if you did nothing serious. A lot of people also make another mistake. They think being polite means saying yes to everything. It does not. You can be respectful and still protect yourself. You can stay calm without confessing. You can cooperate without helping build a case against yourself. That is what this video is about. Not being rude, not acting tough, not playing lawyer from the driver's seat. It is about using simple words that keep the stop safe, clean, and under control. It is about knowing what to say before panic takes over. Because in that moment, you will not rise to the occasion. You will fall to your habit. So let's build the right habit now. I have studied real traffic stop situations for a long time. I have gone through body camera footage, court records, and real driver encounters. I have seen the same mistake happen again and again. Good people talk themselves into bigger trouble in under 1 minute. Here is the first move. I call it the calm opener. The problem this solves is simple. Most drivers start with fear in their voice and excuses in their mouth. The officer walks up, and people rush to explain. They say they are late, tired, lost, or only going a little fast. That is a bad start. You're speaking before you know what matters. You also may sound like you're admitting guilt, even if that was not your plan. Instead, your goal is to lower the temperature right away. You want calm words, calm hands, and zero extra information. Say exactly this. Good evening, officer. My hands are on the wheel. How would you like me to proceed? That line does several smart things fast. First, and it shows the officer where your hands are. That matters a lot. Traffic stops are tense for everyone, and visible hands reduce fear. Second, it shows respect without surrendering your rights. You are polite, but you're not confessing. Third, it keeps you from blurting out a story. You're not guessing why you were stopped. That is huge. A lot of drivers ruin the first 10 seconds by answering a question nobody asked. This line also puts the next move on the officer. That helps you stay measured and focused. Now you're not scrambling. You're waiting for clear instructions. And that matters because nervous reaching can look bad. Fast talking can sound bad. Random excuses can become evidence. This opener keeps you out of all three traps. It buys you a little space to think. It also makes you sound like someone who is steady. Steady people make fewer mistakes. Use a normal tone. Not angry, not sarcastic, not shaky if you can help it. If your voice trembles, that is okay. The words still matter. You're not trying to charm the officer. You're trying to stay safe and clean. So do not start with, I know, I am sorry, or I was only. Start with calm and control. That one sentence can change the whole feel of the stop. Calm is control. Now this next one is where most people completely fall apart. I call it the no surprise reach. The problem here is movement. Drivers start digging around before the officer even asks. They reach into a pocket. They lean toward the glove box. They start shuffling papers on the seat. Even if your reason is innocent, fast movement can raise tension. It can make a simple stop feel unsafe. You never want the officer guessing about your hands. You want every move to be announced before it happens. That is even more important at night. It also matters if your car is messy or your wallet is buried. The more you fumble, the more nervous the whole stop can feel. And nerves lead to mistakes. Say exactly this. My license is in my wallet. My registration is in the glove box. I'm reaching slowly now. This works because it turns movement into a clear plan. You're telling the officer what you need, where it is, and what happens next. There's no surprise. There's no sudden lean. There's no guessing. That helps protect you. It also helps keep the stop from escalating over nothing. And notice what this phrase does not include. It does not include an excuse. It does not include chatter. It does not include a nervous joke. It stays on one thing only: safe movement. This is also smart because drivers usually do have to provide their license, registration, and proof of insurance. So you are cooperating with the basic stop. But you are doing it in a way that protects the moment. You are making the stop more predictable. Predictable is good. Predictable keeps tension down. If the officer gives different instructions, follow them calmly. The point is not to control the officer. The point is to control your own side of the stop. Your words create order before your hands move. That is a big deal. A clean movement is better than a rushed movement every time. So do not dig first and explain later. Speak first, then move slowly. That is how smart drivers keep small stops from getting bigger. No surprises, no extra drama. If you're learning something useful with the rest of us, will you comment? Ready? Quick friend-to-friend reminder. Everything here is for education only. It is not legal advice, and I am not your lawyer. If you're dealing with a serious situation, talk to a licensed attorney in your state. Here is the next move. This one saves people from their own mouth. I call it the silence shield. The problem it solves is huge. Officers often ask questions that sound casual. They ask where you're coming from. They ask where you're going. They ask if you know why they stopped you. They may ask how fast you were going. They may ask if you had anything to drink. Most people answer because the question sounds normal. They think silence will make them look guilty. But this is exactly where things fall apart again. Your answers can give away facts the officer did not have. And once you start talking, it is hard to stop cleanly. You end up explaining one answer with 5 more answers. Then you're stuck in your own words. If you misspeak, change a detail, or guess wrong, it can hurt you later. That is why you need a simple line, a short one, a clear one. Say exactly this: I choose to remain silent. That phrase works because it is direct and calm. You are not arguing. You are not insulting anyone. You are using a basic right in plain English. The right to remain silent means you do not have to answer investigative questions. That just means questions meant to gather evidence. It does not mean you get to ignore every instruction. If the officer asks for your documents, hand them over. If the officer gives a lawful command, stay calm and comply. But when the questions start fishing for details, this line protects you. It keeps you from volunteering information. It also protects you from the trap of trying to sound helpful. Helpful drivers often talk themselves into trouble. And do not add extra words after this phrase. That is the hard part. Do not say, but I can explain. Do not say, unless you just want to know one thing. Say the line, then stop talking. Silence only works if you actually use it. The officer may keep asking. Stay steady. You do not need a speech. You need one clean sentence. That one sentence can stop a bad chain reaction before it starts. Silence can save you. Now here's another move that matters more than most people realize. I call it the search stopper. The problem this solves is pressure. A lot of drivers think they must say yes if an officer asks to look around. They think saying no will make them look guilty. They worry that a polite refusal sounds suspicious. So they agree. They say, sure, go ahead, even when they do not want to. Most drivers have no idea this is even a thing. Consent means permission. If you give permission, you just made the search easier. You may have given away a protection you could have kept. That does not mean an officer can never search without your permission. Sometimes they may search anyway. But if you clearly refuse consent, you are making an important point. You're saying the search is not by your choice. That can matter later. It can matter a lot. Say exactly this: I do not consent to any searches. That line is strong because it is clear and clean. There's no anger in it. There's also no confusion in it. You're not debating law on the roadside. You're simply refusing permission. That is all. This phrase also helps you avoid another mistake. Many drivers think they should explain why they are saying no. Do not do that. The more you explain, the more room you create for more questions. Just use the line, then stay quiet. And this is important. Do not physically resist. Do not grab. Do not block. Do not argue with your hands. If a search happens anyway, let your words be the record. Let your refusal be clear. A calm no is far better than a loud fight. You can challenge bad actions later. You do not need to win the roadside debate. You need to avoid making things worse. So remember the difference. Respect is one thing. Permission is another. You can be polite, steady, and firm at the same time. Polite is not permission. Before we keep going, is there one person in your life who drives every day and needs this? Send them this video right now before you forget. Here's the last move, and it is one of the smartest lines you can learn. I call it the exit question. The problem here is the slow drift. The officer gives back your documents, but the talking keeps going. Now the stop feels half over and half not over. That is where many drivers get confused. They think they still have to stay, so they keep answering questions they never had to answer. Or they try to leave too soon and create tension. Both are avoidable. What you need is clarity. You need to know whether you are free to go. That is where this line becomes powerful. It is simple, respectful, and very useful. Say exactly this: Officer, am I free to leave? This works because it forces a clear answer. If the answer is yes, leave calmly and safely. Do not celebrate. Do not make a speech. Just go. If the answer is no, then now you know the stop is still active. That tells you something important. It tells you this is not a casual chat. It tells you to stop filling the silence. This is also where one legal word can help. Detained means you are not free to leave. That is all it means. If you're not free to leave, do not argue the point on the roadside. Stay calm, stay quiet. Follow instructions and protect yourself with your words. A lot of trouble starts because drivers never ask this question. They guess. Guessing is dangerous in a traffic stop. Clear beats fuzzy every time. And timing matters here. Use this after the basic stop appears finished, especially after your documents come back. Do not use it as a challenge. Use it like a calm adult who wants clarity. Tone matters. Keep your voice steady and normal. You're not trying to provoke. You're trying to close the moment cleanly. This question helps end wandering conversations. It also keeps you from stepping into extra trouble after the main reason for the stop is done. One clear question can save 10 bad answers. Clarity changes everything. Now let's lock this in. The calm opener keeps your first words from becoming an apology or an admission. The no surprise reach keeps your hands from creating fear or confusion. The silence shield stops you from handing over facts you did not need to share. The search stopper makes it clear that any search is not by your permission. The exit question tells you whether the stop is over or whether you still need to stay quiet. You now know something that most drivers will never know. You now have a real plan for the first minute that matters most. You are not helpless in that situation anymore. You do not need to act tough. You do not need to argue. You do not need to talk your way out of panic. You need calm words, clean moves, and clear limits. That is real training, and now it is yours. Here's your challenge. Pick one line from this video and memorize it tonight. The next time you get stopped, use it if the moment fits. Then come back and tell us what happened in the comments. Stay calm, stay clear, stay in your rights.